नमस्कार। वेकअप एंड शाइन पर आप विजय विक्रम सिंह के साथ हैं एक बार फिर से। और अगर आपने ऑलरेडी हमारे चैनल को लाइक और सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है किसी भी प्लेटफॉर्म पर तो तुरंत करिए भाई। बहुत अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें हमने आपके लिए लाइन अप करी हुई हैं। कहानियाँ तो सुना ही रहे हैं हम। कोरोना टाइम्स जो चल रहे हैं उसमें हम मोटिवेशनल स्टोरीज और मोटिवेशनल इंटरव्यूज भी कर रहे हैं ऐसे लोगों के जो हमारी और आपकी तरह बड़ी आम जिंदगी से हैं पर बहुत ही ऑर्डिनरी पीपल डूइंग एक्स्ट्राऑर्डिनरी वर्क। और इसी सिलसिले में आज हम बात कर रहे हैं रोहन चौबे से, हु इज अ ग्रोथ हैकर एंड ही इज अ यंग सेंसेशन। बहुत कुछ जानेंगे उनसे डिजिटल दुनिया के बारे में। रोहन, थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर talking to us.
I'm thrilled to connect with you.
Pleasure, Rohan. First things first, you need to tell me what exactly is meant by this term growth hacker, and I would be intrigued also to know what you do. As in, there are very exciting things that you do. So, I'd like you to tell our audiences what exactly
Sure.
you're doing.
Just to keep it very simple so that all regular people like us can understand the term. I don't want to get into the technicalities,
Right.
but just trying to explain in simple terms. Ki growth hacker is someone who So let's understand the term growth hacking. So when I say this, a lot of people think कि ये hacking के related होगा
Hmm.
या कुछ something black hat is happening. But it's
Hmm.
nothing like that. So it's a simple term. They coined it in Silicon Valley in the US.
Hmm.
And while working with companies there, I learned this. And now I wanted to share with in India and other parts of the world. So it's simply that how you can grow your company
Hmm. Hmm.
in the least possible time using the least resources. By resources, I mean the size of your team, the money that you invest, and everything.
Okay.
And what is the new unconventional ways you can find. So let's say all the digital companies are on, let's say, social media and other platforms, digital platforms, which are known by everyone. But what is that as a growth hacker you can do to
Hmm.
find channels, mediums on which your competitors are not there? So let's say, for example, uh, now all the OTT platforms are growing. Let's say, for example, Woot, Hotstar, and all of these, right?
Right. Right.
So one of the Indian companies which is in the educational space
Hmm.
is the first company to be on an OTT platform, which is Woot. So Woot and Upgrad has a tie-up. So it is very unlikely that an online learning platform acquires a particular show slot on an
Hmm.
OTT platform, that too in India.
Hmm.
So that is an unconventional channel for growth for them.
Right.
So this is the job of a growth hacker. How you can find unconventional marketing strategies and grow your clients as soon as possible.
Just going by the example that you gave us right now, uh, how did you decide to get the company tied up to Woot? What were the metrics that went behind it? What was your research?
Mhm. Oh, sorry. So I meant to say that this was an example of this company coming on this OTT platform.
OTT
Not that I
platform.
made it happen. I
Okay.
was just pointing that this is what they did. So I think so you asked how will someone decide, right?
How will
So it
someone
would
decide?
be
Let's rephrase the
related
question.
to, let's say, find what your audience is,
Hmm.
and then see where is the attention of your audience. So now
Hmm.
that everyone is in the lockdown and everyone is so the subscriptions of these platforms are increasing at a rate that you cannot imagine.
Hmm.
Movies are releasing on these OTT platforms, so they know that everyone is on Voot, Hotstar, Netflix.
Hmm.
They might have thought, like, why not try this as a channel for acquisition, because their audience is mostly young people trying to learn new educational stuff. So they started this segment of educational programming on this Voot app.
Hmm.
So I think this would be the thought process that might have went behind it.
Okay. Now I have some clarity on the issue. इससे सबसे कमाल की बात ये है कि करियर ऑप्शन जब हम चुनते हैं तो नॉर्मली हम उन चीज़ों को चुनते हैं which we have a reference of. So, you want to be a particular thing because somebody has done it previously, and you're probably fascinated by
Right.
it. But this is something that is, I think, very, very new, which would not have had a reference point, if I'm
Right.
not wrong. So, how did you decide that this is something that that is really exciting, and I really want to do it?
So when I was 16, I was on this gaming platform, which was, about some TV concept turned into some online gaming platform.
Okay.
And then it had a blog section where you could actually share your experience while you were playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
And then there I used to write anything. So there was this ranking for top blogs. So no
Mm-hmm.
matter what I used to write, it used to become a top blog. So it
Oh.
made me curious, like, what is that I'm writing? Why is it loved by so many people? Maybe, I should become a professional blogger.
Hmm.
But back then, I really did not know what blog is. So actually, I first searched on Google, what is a blog?
Hmm.
And then I found that there are actually professional bloggers who actually, make a living out of it. But
Mm-hmm.
not that, that was something that I wanted to do. I was just excited for the fact that how are so many people liking what I write.
Hmm.
And then from there, I got invited to write for one of the top publications in the US. It is called the Huffington
Ah.
Post, and it is also in India, and a lot of people read it. So that was I think, turning point, because a US-based company read
Mm-hmm.
one of my columns and invited me to become a part of their team.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were offering, so I did not even know all this that I'm doing is actually monetizable, in the sense that I used to think of it as an hobby.
Hmm.
But then I later got to know that people are actually searching for people to help them with, social media, SEO, blogging, content marketing, and
Hmm.
so many things. So this company approached me to say, if you can become a PR manager and content marketer. I worked with them for 2 years, and I was shocked to know that, the kind of weekly salary that they were offering was far more than, what someone would earn in India doing
Mm-hmm.
similar role.
Mm-hmm.
So it made me more interested and curious to know that why is there is, a gap. So I was maybe I was 17 or 18 at that point,
Hmm.
and I was curious to know why is there a, gap between payments in India and the US.
Hmm.
And then I later found that because, the US, India is not relatively, the standards of living are different. So
Hmm.
people, and also the dollar and Indian currencies do not match.
Hmm.
So that's when I realized that, okay, how about working in the US, making money in dollars and spending it in India? So it would always have, a disbalance, and thereby having a lot of savings.
Hmm.
But then this was something that I wanted to share with other people as well, that no matter where you are in the world, you can help anyone, right? You can be, living in the smallest second tier city in India,
Right.
let's say anywhere in, North India, and you
Hmm.
can be working with the companies in the US, Canada, UK, anywhere.
Hmm.
Your skills should not be limited to the country that you live in. And I have this, visualization of a world, of a utopian world where there exists no borders, and we all are just one nation and one family. So I always had that ideology in mind, and that's why I wanted to see world as, just one piece, and not divided and separated by so many borders and religions and everything. So I think my hobby just turned into a career, and I couldn't. And now that I look back, I think, okay, now this is the career path. But back
Hmm.
then, I did not realize that it was actually a full-time career.
Which is exciting कि accidentally एक ऐसी चीज की डिस्कवरी हुई
Right.
जिसने आपको एक ऐसी पोजीशन में ला दिया where you are now the guiding force for a
In
lot of
fact,
people.
thank you. And in fact, I was going through your story, and I went through, the intro video that you have for this channel. You had a similar story, So if you see a pattern here, every successful people you find, or I mean, defining success very loosely,
Yeah.
you will find only two things. One is they find what is their gift, and
Hmm.
the second is how they can deliver the gift to other people in the
Sure.
world. So
Absolutely.
this
So nicely
pattern
put.
remains constant for everyone.
Yeah. And in my case, I can also say this with example that there's no age barrier to
True,
find that
true,
gift. You can do
uh,
it at the age of 16, 17
true.
also. You can do it at the age of 30 plus 32. I
Exactly.
started at 32, which is again exciting to know that the realization of that gift happened with you, and now with that particular realization, you are helping out people. What will be more exciting to know would be your journey in terms of where you started, where you studied, because that will give us a perspective of
Sure.
how things went for you.
So I think when I started blogging, maybe I was finishing school, maybe 10th grade.
And which city
And
was this in?
I live in Mumbai. I'm still in Mumbai. I have
Okay,
got
okay. Wow.
places, and I've got several offers from Dubai and US, but I never moved because like I told you, I was fascinated with this idea of having a disparity between US dollars and Indian
Right,
currency.
right.
So I always wanted to stay in India. I wanted to empower my Indians and everything that I was learning from all over the world. I wanted that information to be accessible for everyone here,
Hmm.
so that we could empower them essentially. So when I was in school, I found blogging, and then throughout these years, I kept on writing.
Hmm.
So the thing with any skill, maybe like in your case, maybe it is narration. For me, it is writing. For someone else,
Hmm.
it could be acting.
Yeah.
The more you do, the more you learn the ins and outs and technicalities of it.
Right, right.
And then I realized that okay, writing is not something that I need to be limited in.
Hmm.
I am actually a true, like a person who can just give me something and I'll figure it out. So I actually started exploring all digital channels.
Hmm.
I used to like spend a lot of time on various social channels, and I was just trying to understand by reading their developer documents and everything, that how these platforms work, what kind of content format works for them, how is the algorithm functioning, how do
Hmm.
they rank their post in the feed, and why is it that they're so addictive. So all
Hmm.
this was fascinating for me to the point that I started doing deep analysis of every single social media platform, and then I cracked the code of majority of the platforms, and then I started creating my own software products
Hmm.
that favor my clients, because I was already having an understanding of how these works. I was having this Twitter platform, a product based on Twitter. It used to deliver a lot of engagement and reach to influencers and companies.
Hmm.
There was this Ministry of Women and Child Development, Government of India, Uber, Kalyan Jewellers, all these people using my software, this tool.
Hmm.
Even the ruling party of our India, BJP, was one of my clients. They were
Hmm.
using it for Twitter. So that's when I realized that okay, so not every so everyone uses social media, but they do not really deeply understand how social media works behind the
Right,
scenes, right?
right.
So I started understanding the technicalities of it, and then started creating products around it and services around it. And then I started, so there are a lot of agencies you may have known that offer digital marketing services and
Right,
all of that.
right.
These products and my deep insights about how these particular platforms work, I started sharing with these agencies. These companies started hiring me for training of their internal employees, and that's where I started coining this term, that how you can crack the code of any digital platform.
That's where the word growth hacking
Right.
comes from, basically.
Right.
So hacking not in the actually negative
Yes.
sense,
Yes.
but
In a very
hacking
positive way.
in a very positive way, basically cracking that particular thing.
Right.
Wherein, because social media, of course, digital media has gained a lot of traction in the past few years, but especially in the last 6 months or last 4 months, Corona times specifically, it has gained a lot of currency because
Right.
people have realized that it's a big influencer, and now it's a game changer because a lot of things are happening online. So,
True.
what do you suggest to people now? See, there still are people who are medium. I won't say agnostic, who are medium ignorant, who
Right.
still feel that the conventional side of marketing is the way forward. How do you convince such a person or such an organization, if there exists some today? There might not be a case where all the organizations, where there would be organizations who are resisting it completely. Everybody, I think, has got to realize the power of digital media, but
Right.
not everybody has realized its full potential.
Right.
Some are still testing waters. So what do you suggest to somebody who's very new to it, who's averse? I'm using the word averse, who's averse to using social media, that okay, I'll just spend a little part of it because it's the in thing, but I'm not going to spend considerably over there because I find it a waste of time. Because I have faced this situation when I was long back, 11 years back, when I was selling radio. So I was into radio sales. I was selling airtime. The advertising that you hear on radio, I was selling airtime. So accepted as a medium to advertise in India at that time. People had a lot of resistance.
Right.
And I'm sure the same kind of resistance would be faced by people like you because it's still a relatively new medium. So, how do you
Right.
overcome that?
You can only lead by example, right? So let's say, for example, now they say that these OTT platforms are as good as television.
Hmm.
So if you have a show on any OTT, if you can get a slot on any OTT, it's
Hmm.
as good as being on a television show.
Right. Right.
Similarly, if you so there is this one client that I had, Kalyan Jewelers.
Hmm.
They are a 100-plus-year-old jewelry company in India and Dubai.
Hmm.
They made a decision around, I guess, 2013 or 15 that they want to be on online platforms.
Hmm.
And I was one of the few consultants who helped them grow on their social platforms and all of that.
Hmm.
So I've seen very closely how these traditional companies can actually transition into online world,
Hmm.
and nothing changes. A lot of people may have resistance because of the experience that they deliver, or anything they're specific to their industry. So
Hmm.
something like jewelry in India, people were back then. People were afraid that how can I invest 50,000 in a ring which I cannot even touch. That is changing.
Hmm.
Historically, if you take out records, people have become more comfortable buying online.
Hmm.
People have become more comfortable trusting the news that they see online. That has also given rise to fake news, but
Hmm.
also they have started trust. Whatever they read might be true, and which is altogether a different issue of credibility crisis. But that is not the point here. The point here
Right.
is that people have started to trust the platform, and the biggest shock is that after COVID, post COVID,
Hmm.
the digital transformation that you're seeing now is that every company has to become a tech company. So the grocery store that you have, maybe 1 kilometers from your
Hmm.
house, is now has to have an app to deliver you stuff. You can order online. Every sector can actually become like, have their own tech establishment. They can become a tech company and can be scaled to infinite potential because technology is scalable. So
Hmm.
if you are a local, let's say you sell, maybe someone may have a clothing line
Hmm.
based in Mumbai.
Hmm.
They can actually have it, on a display online with an app or a website, and they can ship anywhere, right? They can create
Right.
custom for anyone.
Right.
So technology makes things scalable. That is, number one argument
Hmm.
that the best way to convince anyone is saying this, that with technology everything is scalable, and that's why you need to be on it.
And that's where you also need to spend on it because you need
Right.
to make people aware that we are there. This digital revolution that has happened has led to a lot of content creation,
Right.
very good content. In fact, from sublime and beautiful to ridiculous, all kind of content
Right.
exists. So, your take on that, and what kind of potential do you see for content creators in this age?
I think the biggest currency that we have right now is content.
Right, right, true.
Everything that drives the digital platform is content. So I think creators right from the micro influencers and content creators to the macro ones,
Mm-hmm.
all of us now play a key role because no matter what you choose, whether it be social media, whether it be any offbeat digital channels, whether it be any entertainment portals or any kind of, again, pointing to OTT, anything that you see online is all made up of content.
Right.
And no matter what industry you're in, what sector you're in, what vertical you're in, content is the key driver for everything, every kind of conversion happening, every kind of
Mm.
transaction happening. So I think that's the biggest key that someone who can crack the code of content can actually win the game.
True, true. And in that light, how do you see this ban that has happened on TikTok? How do you see this as an opportunity for others? if it is an opportunity.
I think, like, you mentioned in one of your videos as well, I was watching, everything in life can be seen as an opportunity, right? So let's say if you had a verified account on TikTok, if you had 1 million followers and you lost it,
Hmm.
you did not really lose it, right? I have a lot of friends who had verified accounts, they had millions and millions of followers, and they're crying that the platform is gone. But it's not really gone, right? So if you truly built true fans and true loyal followers,
Hmm.
they will still come and find you on Instagram. They will still come and find you on, other platforms
Hmm.
like Twitter, Facebook. So the idea is here to not get very religious about a particular social media platform. And TikTok gives us as a case study for all influencers and content creators like us, that I don't want to stick to only YouTube. I don't want to stick to only Facebook or Instagram. I want to be everywhere as much as possible, so that anytime in future something gets lost, I'm not losing my true fans, because
Hmm.
they will still find me. So the idea here is to not be, famous on a particular platform, but really have an impact on people to the extent that they turn from, just numbers in followers to your loyal fans.
That's so nicely said that uh, you should be basically platform agnostic.
Right,
Whichever platform, if one goes, your focus should be on the content more
right.
rather than the platform. Which is, I mean, I'm amazed at this conversation. With this conversation, I'm really amazed. You're what, 18, 19 right now? Currently, if
I
I may
I
ask.
am currently 22.
20
I
to at
I
20.
grew up on the internet.
I mean, at 22, I didn't even know what to do in life. I was kind of completely lost. And at 22, the kind of insight that you're giving me, even a person like me I'm very technologically and digitally challenged. And despite all the, if I can use the word fame, or despite all the mega projects that I've been associated with, my Instagram following is hardly 5,000 people. My Facebook following is abysmal. So for someone like me, it's really, really insightful to be speaking to you, and at the same time, it's awe-inspiring.
Thank
You
you.
know,
And that's what I was trying to tell you, right? So the number of followers do not define the worth that you have. The
hmm.
kind of work you have done, the gifts that you have given and delivered to humanity is far more beyond than the count of followers you have, right?
True, true,
The
true.
the people on your Instagram do not define anything about you.
Yeah, true, true. Absolutely. That's very, very rightly said. And in that context, I would want you to tell or give a message to youngsters like you who want to make this as a career, to show some light, to show some guidance to them as to what they should be doing, what they should be, reading, what they should be studying, what they should be focusing on, if they intend, if they want to make it as a, if they want to follow your path.
Uh, I have a very simple advice. First, of course, as we discussed, it's all about digital and technology.
Mm.
So you really can't really ignore it. So you have to really try to understand everything related to it, because that's the future that we are living in. The
Mm.
second is that don't, um, blindly follow these big gurus and entrepreneurs. For example, a lot of people love, the idea of being an entrepreneur,
Mm.
but not the work that requires to do it. So if anyone searches my name on Google, they will find that I never ever call myself like an entrepreneur, or never mention my company or anything, because the idea is to not glorify that you are an entrepreneur, or not try to, glamorize startups.
Mm.
The idea is to really be of service to humanity.
Right.
What is that you're offering to the people? Let that be advertised. Do not advertise that you're an entrepreneur, or you own these 10 different companies. Tell us that what exactly your company is doing to provide value to us and others. And
Mm.
I think that's the biggest definition of success for anyone, that you find your gift, you share it with others, and that's what you advertise. So glorifying and glamorizing, this all the startup craze and entrepreneurship craze has to stop.
Mm.
And my honest suggestion and request to everyone watching, all the young people maybe like me, is just this, that it's not about the achievements or accomplishments or the money.
Mm.
Once you can tap into your talents and skills and the gift that we are talking about, and find a way to deliver it to people that improves their life in some way. I think that's the biggest secret to having a great career in life. I mean, I'm just saying, you know it better.
No, no, no. It's always good to learn new things. It's always good to have perspectives. And this conversation that we are having is such an eye opener for me. And I've heard, and whatever I could gather from your interactions on different platforms, you are into some kind of charity also. I mean, you're helping out people.
I try to not talk about it as well, because that shouldn't become like a
Yes.
selling point for my services. But yes, I do help. So all these big companies in India, and maybe not just India, maybe other places as well, they have this category and percentage of employees that are differently abled and they want to employ them, and then they run a massive PR for in that name, right?
Right,
It's a
right,
PR opportunity for them.
right.
For very small business owners like me who are really trying to change their world in their own unique ways, for us, this is something that we truly do as a service.
Right.
We do this to empower people and not make it like a PR statement.
Absolutely.
So, yes, I do work with differently able people and people who have had clinical records of mental illness. And I do not like to talk about it, but yeah, since you brought it up, I'm happy to share.
It's really great. It's really wonderful that you're doing this, and it's really great that you spoke about it specifically in terms of mental health because a few events in the last couple of weeks related to my industry, related to entertainment industry, has brought back the focus on mental health,
Right.
and also the fact that we have been in constant lockdown for so many days has also kind of brought the focus on mental health, and I'm glad that you're working on it. Rohan Chaube, it was fantastic talking to you. You can't even imagine how wonderful I'm feeling right now because I get to interact with a 22-year-old who has so much clarity and fluidity about what he wants in life. Wish you all the luck for your future endeavors.
Thank you. Just before leaving you, I'll tell
Yes,
one thing.
yes.
Again, pointing back to your video that I watched about your life story. Your story is deeply inspiring to me and so many others.
Thank you.
Please keep, bringing on all this positivity and inspiration that you draw from your colleagues in your industry and people like us. Yeah, the content that you are trying to put is is indeed, something that has deeply touched and inspired me. So thank you so much for all the service that you provide.
My God, thank you so much. I truly feel that those 24, 25 minutes of interview or the conversation that I had on camera was worth its weight in gold, considering that now you've come out, considering looking at the comments that I keep receiving, and now today that you have talked about it. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Wish you all the luck. May you keep shining. And once this is over, we will be in touch so that
Surely.
we can create more content. You can guide me and Nilesh as to what
Of
else
course,
we
we
can
can
do.
learn from each other.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you so much. Wish you all the luck or more power to you. Wake up and shine पर आप रोहन चौबे के साथ थे। रोहन चौबे जिनकी जिंदगी हमारे लिए एक इंस्पिरेशन है। 22 साल की उम्र में वो क्या कुछ नहीं कर रहे हैं डिजिटल मार्केटिंग स्पेस में, ग्रोथ हैकिंग के स्पेस में, इंटरनेट के स्पेस में, काबिल तारीफ है और ये हम सब के लिए अनुसरण करने वाली बात है। वेकअप एंड शाइन पर विजय विक्रम सिंह के साथ थे आप। नमस्कार।